Hello my lovelies, Barbara here with yet another deck review. And what's going to be interesting about this particular deck is I've had it for about 10 years and I've used it constantly. It's one of the most popular decks that when I've given readings to clients, I always let them choose from 5 different specific decks that I carry around. And this is one of the most popular ones that's always chosen. So it is actually the Silver Witchcraft Tarot. Now the box itself, and there's me undoing the box already, the box itself isn't in bad condition. I can't get the lid back on now. You can see it's only slightly damaged because I tend to take my decks out of their boxes when I'm transporting them to protect the box. But when we look inside and when I do the close-up, you will see they are quite warm. But that's what's great about it, because when you first buy a deck, if you're going to use it regularly, you never know how it's going to last. You know, is it going to really stand the tests of time, particularly if you are a professional reader doing lots of readings, daily readings or anything like that. Now, obviously it's called the Silver Witchcraft Tarot. You can actually get this came in an ordinary box because it's all I could afford at the time, to be fair. But you can get them in bigger boxes. I've not seen them, but it appears you can, with a proper book inside, because as with many decks, it's Barbara Moore, I believe, who's written this. So the book might be quite interesting. Yeah, Barbara Moore. It might be quite an interesting book to have. So if you look on my details I've put next to this video, you'll see some information about that. Anyway, so the back of the deck. Now, I'm trying to, very shiny cards. I will say these are very shiny and sometimes really difficult to shuffle because they're so glossy. But if you can try to get the reflection of what's going on around me, you see we've got the triple goddess. Bear in mind it's the Silver Witchcraft Tarot, but there's this beautiful waterway with sort of mountains and things in the background, and these are actually trees along here. You can't really see it on the camera, but it's beautiful. And what's great, it's the same either way, and I like that, because if you're like me and use reversals, you can't tell from first looking at the back whether the card is reversed or not. So that's a really good plus point. These are really good. They're not extraordinarily good, as in, you know, the actual cards themselves. Because if you look at them, they're a little bit bendy, but not too much. But if you look at the side, which is, I guess, where they got the name Silver Witchcraft Tarot, I'm trying to get the light on it. Can you see? Oh, there we are. It's actually silver gilt. I mean, it's not real silver. It's silver paint. Can't imagine it. It'd be a lot more expensive if it was real silver. But anyway, you can see it there. Now, bearing in mind all the usage that this has had, that's still on there after all these years, and they've been travelled all over the place, lots of times to Glastonbury. I used to do the Witches Market, Glastonbury regularly, 4 times a year for many years. You can imagine at a Witches Market that this is going to be the most popular deck that a client is going to choose. The pictures I love, which is why it became one of my favourite decks to use, because they're so bright and they're so simple, but oh my goodness, they're so profound, some of them. And again, when I turn the camera around, you'll see that for yourself. Hopefully you may or may not like them, but I do. But I'm just going to cut the deck in a couple of places to show you close up. I mean, look at the Fool. Now again, I've got the, you can see how really shiny these cards are. So if you look here, so there's the tree with the shadow. We've got an eclipse going on here, but there is actually a person holding on to that tree, getting that strength from that tree. All the pictures throughout are really interesting. I mean, let's just show a few of them there. What's that one there? The Ace of Pentacles. And just cut it again. Whoopsie. So there we are. King of Chalices. So they're called chalices in this deck. Golly, you can really see how shiny they are. I have on occasions, I mean, it's not very good when you're a professional reader and you're shuffling away and they go everywhere because they're so slippery. So just be aware of that. Even after all that use, they're still pretty slippery. And it is quite funny when I used to get clients to shuffle them, they'd go everywhere because they're so slippery. So to me, that personally is the only downside of this deck. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the camera around like I've been doing, and we'll go through every single card. Now, it's quite long-winded, but it's really interesting to know whether you're drawn to the symbolism and how it's being portrayed in a deck. So we're going to do that. So, see you in a moment. So one thing I did forget to mention was the little booklet. Like I said, this particular deck that I've got is the smaller box. So it is just the basic, you know, little booklet type thing in many, many different languages. So it's only a few pages, very basic instructions. I would suggest if you buy the kit, in other words, the bigger box with the proper book by Barbara Moore, it'll be a lot more enlightening for you. So let's go through the cards. So we'll start with the majors. Here we go. Here's the Fool. Look at that. Oh, I brought that up before, didn't I? The Magician, as above, so below. Now, actually, look at this plinth. This plinth is very, very important. So you watch it throughout the whole of the majors. The High Priestess, just not the box there. The Empress. Now look at the Emperor and look at them. Look at them looking at each other. Now, interesting, they're sort of set for a hand fasting. But if you actually put them next to each other, they're not quite lined up. That's the only downside, I think, of this. I think it should be lined up. The sun up there is, but the actual ribbons themselves aren't. But nevertheless, beautiful. Love the actual costumes depicted in here. Here we have what would normally be known as the the Hierophant, but we've got the High Priest here. I love this. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? The Lovers. And the Chariot. Think about the Chariot. In a Rider-Waite, you've got two Sphinxes, a black and a white one. It's all about balance. Perfect balance has created this wonderful baby up here. The Strength card, the Hermit, the Wheel, as opposed to the Wheel of Fortune, but the Wheel. Justice. This is so profound, I think, because you've got this perfectly white straight tree, and then you've got the gnarled black tree. But because justice is about truth and giving real justice, she is blindfolded. You see the butterflies are going towards the gnarled black tree. So sometimes things are not immediately obvious which is the right way to go. We have the Hangman, perfect yoga position, and look at this Death card. The caterpillar that would go under the cloak to become the butterfly. You've got all this energy coming down here, this wonderful sun rising. Have you noticed something about the plinth? Plinth, 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 plinth. How it starts off with almost like dead ivy growing across it. Now we're up to it, it's just a plain plinth. Keep an eye on that plinth. Temperance. Look at the Devil. How do you see yourself? How do you perceive yourself? You know, do you constantly feel knocked down? Do you think tied? I mean, this is actually tied to the plinth, which has now changed colour. So it's gone from, you know, covered in dead ivy to just a plain plinth. And now we have the white. This is the beginning of your, you know, emergence of your spirituality. The Tower. Look at this with the birds flying away and a little bird left behind there. Look at the star. Isn't that stunning? The Moon. You can tell I really like this deck, can't you? There's the Moon, the Sun, Judgment. It's the bird flying offward. It's almost like sprites, but it's energy, all energy. But I feel that they're people, as far as I'm concerned, they're spirits rising upwards. And look at the world. So we have the tree. We have the shoots of the tree coming down here, a new sapling. There is the Mother with the sun. It's all about, you know, experience, but new beginnings as well. So we'll put them to one side. I normally do. There we go. Oh, left that one behind. And here we go. Let's go. We're going starting with Pentacles today. In the Pentacles, you'll notice throughout, not every single pentacle, I don't think, but there is spider's webs. Two of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles, love this. Four of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles. Now, you know, a lot of people get really worried about the Five of Pentacles, but look at those. We've got the Maiden and the Crone. The Mother is nowhere to be seen. However, we've got a little rabbit down here. So it's about, you know, fives are wobble cards. You can go either way. It's such a positive deck. Even what is normally perceived as really negative cards, they're really positive, you know. Six of Pentacles, Seven, the Eight of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles. I love that. She's, you know, like, shh, don't say anything. Look at this Ten of Pentacles. Isn't that beautiful? And there's, we've got the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. So let's move on to the Ace of Chalices, so the Ace of Cups. Now, funnily enough, whereas in the Pentacles all the way through, and so are the Spider's Webs mostly through, with the Cups, the Chalices, we have Chalices, it's true. I love the way the moon is reflected as a triple goddess there. But it doesn't really appear in many of the actual chalice cards, which is a bit bizarre. So there's the 2, there's the 3, there's the 4, the 5 chalices. I like this, the way that some of the candles are still lit, but she's choosing to blow those candles out. Look at all the orbs down here. The 6 of chalices, the 7, the 8, the 9, and the 10 of chalices. How beautiful is that? We've got the Page, love all the sprites in the water. The Knight of Chalices, the Queen, and the King. Let's move those 2 suits out the way. And we're going to go into swords now. Here we go. Oops, move it up that way. So there's the Ace. Oh, you can't see the word. Ace, the 2 of Swords. You notice this is, you've got all this, it's almost like ice. Well, it's snow, isn't it? There's the footprints, her actually getting there. But it's showing that there's new growth around, even when there's, you know, the snow is hiding things. And if you get to the 3 of Swords, there's a cup, strangely enough. You know, there's the chalice. I keep saying you know, I'm terribly sorry. We've got all the wonderful flowers up here, but do you see the sword is into that cup of love and relationships? But it's been cut into the ice. That's how I feel is what that's being portrayed there. We've got the 4 of Swords. Look at that. Just rest. You know, though it's been shown as a headstone, it's like it can be, you can rest. And there's flowers, they put roses or flowers of some sort onto the grave. The 5 of Swords, the 6, the 7. Jimmy really, oh no, don't let me go with the wind. The 8, the 9. Look at this 10. Look at this 10. You know, normally it's a guy. Oh, I said it again. Sorry. Usually there's a guy with a load of swords in his back, but here there's the butterflies. It's showing it's a new beginning. So the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. And finally, let's go on to the Wands. Now with the Wands, we have ginger cats through many of the, not all of them, but many of them. There's a ginger cat on that one. So 2 of Wands, the 3, the 4, bit of a punch up with the ginger cat and another cat there on the 5. I love that. That is beautiful. That's 6 of Wands. Isn't that stunning? The 7, very profound, that card. I mean, if that doesn't say speed, what, you know, what does? 8 of Wands. The 9, the 10. I love this because, you know, the whole, I've said it again, the whole point of the 10 of Wands is that struggle to get to that finishing line almost. He or she is having a bit of a problem managing to light the fire in the snow, but it's not going to be easy, is it? But they'll manage it eventually. Look at that. Page of Wands, the Knight, the Queen, and the King of Wands. So you can see these are really beautifully bright cards, full of symbolism. Beautiful, beautiful deck to use. So I hope you enjoyed that little review. It may give you some indication of whether you'd like to go out and buy it. It's still available. I've checked. You can get it all over the place. It's not that expensive. It seems to be less expensive now than it was when I bought it. I don't know why. Perhaps it's because it's 10 years old. It's not something new. Lovely, lovely deck to work with. Do I recommend it? Yes, I do. If you're into witchy things, paganism and things like that. So it crosses the borders of both. It's more Wiccan than witchcraft, you know, very specific, more, you know, leading on to Wiccan. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's so beautiful. Recommend this deck. Anyway, I'll see you next time with another deck review. Bye for now.